Hey everybody, I hope that you're doing well. It is, week 4 of college football? It's a great time to be alive. The last week, I didn't watch too much football, so I was a little busy. Don't have too much to analyze that I can remember. Iowa State didn't play, so I didn't really keep up as much. Had some stuff going on, but I did watch the games for Thursday and Friday this last week. So the Arizona State win, which was a fantastic game, and then Kansas losing spectacularly, and Kansas State doing what they needed to do. And West Virginia was an experience. But let's get into the games this week, and I'm including some of the other teams that you all have mentioned. So I think I got everybody, but we'll see. If you want to see the team on here that I haven't included, let me know. So switching over here, our first game, all weekend games for the Big 12, all Saturday games, and we're finally getting into a little bit of conference play. So the first one is Houston at Cincinnati. And man, two teams battling for the bottom, I suppose. Cincinnati's not awful. Houston I don't really care too much for. I don't really care too much about either of these teams, but I do like Cincinnati more. Home favorites, and I believe more in Cincinnati than I do in Houston, so I'd rather take them. Hopefully it's a good game. Now that we're in Big 12 conference play, the games should be entertaining regardless of the outcome. It's just fun football to watch, which is what you want when you turn on a game. I don't know what big games there are this weekend outside of the conference, so if there's other games on at this time, it makes sense to watch those instead. Another interesting one, West Virginia had the heartbreaking loss against Pitt, who Pitt has just been steamrolling the conference, the Big 12, beating Cincinnati 2 weeks ago, and then West Virginia, and West Virginia blowing a double-digit lead with 5 minutes left. I think, according to the ESPN analytics, it was West Virginia had a 98% chance to win at the end there, and they blew that. But they were competitive. Kansas, on the other hand, seems to just be a walking corpse, which is awful to see. They've lost the last 2 games, and it's at West Virginia. I guess, I don't know. If this was me, I'd put the spread more in West Virginia's favor. 2.5 seems like an easy number for West Virginia against Kansas, but maybe I'm missing something. Based on recency, West Virginia's the play there. My big game, it's not, I don't think it'll be too much of a game. Obviously, the spread's about 22, and this is our last non-conference game, so should be able to take care of business pretty well and good. I won't be going to this as there's a chance of rain this weekend, so and you got some other stuff going on, so it won't be at the game, but I'll be looking forward to the conference play ahead. So that's at 1, 2:30. Arizona State has proven to be a very entertaining team to watch. They beat, Texas State, I believe it was, on Thursday. Very good game. They were underdogs in that. I'm still selling Texas Tech. I don't think they're really much of anything. They're always the disappointment in the last few seasons. But Arizona State, I think, would be a really fun team. I think, in terms of my own bias, in most of these conference games that are under a 4-point spread, I tend to root for the underdog, it seems. An interesting game, what you could almost consider a battle for the top, is Utah at Oklahoma State at 3 p.m. And this one's very interesting because Utah is having quarterback issues, and they were the heavy favorite for the conference. Now Oklahoma State is a small underdog at home, so if this was away, excuse me, talking, the soft-spoken stuff really makes me yawn. Either way, if this was away, Oklahoma State would be a little bit more underdogs, but if I had to pick one of these two teams to win the conference, it would be Oklahoma State. More OG than the new schools. Utah's whatever. I think they got a bit of an ego, and I'm going to root for the Cowboys in this one. A non-conference game, TCU at SMU. So another close game. That's going to be a trend for the rest of the season with these conference games, even some of these non-conference games. But once again, TCU, not a great team. It's amazing to see how far they've fallen since their championship days, but I really like SMU. They're a fun team to watch, and I don't know. I feel like I have a bias against TCU for no rhyme or reason. I'd love for them to win. That's a great sign for the Big 12. But I really just don't care about this game. 4 p.m. is a weird time to play as well. Then it takes a little bit to get into the late games. 7 p.m. Apologies for the ticking. Every time my neighbors do something upstairs, I can hear it very well. But we press on. Baylor at Colorado. Colorado managed to deal with Colorado State pretty well. Not huge competition, but I was hopeful that it would be the other way around. Baylor's all right. Colorado, I'm going to root against them pretty much every time, and this one's more of a toss-up. So I think Baylor would be a fun team to watch them beat Colorado. I still think Colorado's like a 4, maybe 5 win team this season, so I'm not high on them. I think they're going to lose some of these toss-up games. And then late night, Big 12 After Dark, Kansas State at BYU at 9:30 p.m. Central. So, Kansas State's my second favorite Big 12 team, so I'm going to root for them, of course. 6-point favorites. They're really fun to watch. When they beat Arizona last week, Arizona and the other team that wasn't on here, I forget which, is on a bye this week. So they won't be covered, but I'd take Kansas State in this. I'd probably take them -6. I'd see them winning by 9-12, and it'll be a fun game to watch in the evening. A little nice to fall asleep to game. Now moving into non-conference, this is a big game if you're from Minnesota. It's not really a big game if you're from Iowa. Minnesota likes to think that they're a big rival to Iowa. I am an Iowa State fan, so I don't care for the politics, but I disagree in that it's a big game for Iowa. I've had bad experiences with people from the University of Minnesota, so I'm biased against them. And as you can tell, these reviews aren't very subjective. But as much as it sucks to root for Iowa, if Iowa wins, it would make Iowa State's victory over Iowa even more quality of a win. So it's just necessity to root for Iowa this season, and hope it goes well. No matter what happens, you got to root for Iowa every year, unfortunately. If Iowa beats Iowa State, then you got to root for Iowa to be a good team, so then it's a quality loss. And if you beat them, you got to root for them to do good, so that way it's a quality win. Life is hard sometimes. Next, Michigan State. This was one of the requested schools. Again, I don't know anything about Boston College, I'm going to be honest. Michigan State is a 6.5-point underdog at Boston College. Another night game, so I'll tune into this one at least. And I mean, with a spread like that, you're enough underdogs where it'll be interesting if you can keep it close and pull out a win. So, hoping for a good game. And yeah, I don't really know anything about Boston College. I'm guessing this is still a non-conference game because they're not in the Big Ten. Let's see, Texas. So someone else wanted Texas in it, and the comment was entertaining. And then they mentioned it could be a sore subject with Texas leaving recently. Obviously, this game, not much to analyze. 44 point spread. They're gonna be fine against Louisiana Monroe. So hopefully there's a more interesting matchup next week for them. Finally, USC. So someone else is a USC fan, and they're playing Michigan at Michigan, which is always a hard place to go. But all I know really about Michigan is the stuff I see on College Game Day and in the highlights and the drama and all that. All about Harbaugh sign stealing, mumbo jumbo, and all that. So I'm very much a anti-Michigan guy, but I don't know much about USC besides some of their recent success with their NFL draft picks. But I think it would be fun to see them beat Michigan. I'm gonna have to start paying attention to them more. This is another mid-game day at 2:30, so one of those mid-slate things if you want to watch it. There's no other big entertaining games on. I think the Iowa State one will be good to have on, and then it'll be a lot of flipping between. Oh man, I don't know. There's not really too many midday games, are there? They're all spread out, so you have one game to watch at all times. This one will be good though. I think it'll be entertaining at least a bit of a battle, hopefully. I don't expect to see either team really pull away with the score in this one. So, yeah, that's it. That's this week's preview. If there's any other teams you want to see, let me know. I'll add them to the list. And I hope for an entertaining week. Last week was rough for the Big Ten, all right for the Big 12, and it's been great so far. NFL, I've not paid any attention to this year, really, besides turning on games and spacing out. So, I don't know much besides getting obliterated week 1 in Survivor. Picked the Bengals. Thankfully, it's a double. You get one mulligan in the league. So, last week, I picked the Chargers, which, thank God I didn't pick the Ravens. It's been a very weird week, especially for fantasy, too. Some first-string people aren't getting as many touches, at least in week 1, and it's just been weird all around. Bryce Young has been benched, and yeah, the Chicago Bears are very weird. Who knows what's going on, but at least it's entertaining. There's always something to watch, always something to listen to. Tuesday and Wednesday, saddest days of the week, no football. So I hope you enjoyed. Let me know how your weekend goes, and let me know what games you get up to watching and what other teams I should put on here. So I will see you all soon.